Hi, this is Roslynn Eve, and we're back looking at some more exciting images. So this is the image that we're going to be doing a practical art analysis on. And this is the 9th one. If you're familiar with my page, this would be number 9. And it's a really interesting image because of all the lines. I just happened to come across this one through someone else's post to their site, and I found it intriguing, so I clicked on it to see more. Well, it was actually a different image of his, and this is one I found amongst the work there. And the Facebook page here at the top, you can see, is Art Gode, you see, and you can see that, and hopefully I'm saying what I'm reading here correctly. The artist's name is Gode Wilke. So I don't know if I'm saying it correctly or not, but that's where you can find it. And it's spelled, Art Gode is Godot. And Ray Candy is the title of the image. Okay, so why is this image so exciting? Well, when we analyze it, there's 40 ingredients that I use, and I'm doing a mini analysis, so obviously we're not going to be able to cover all 40, but this artist is using a limited palette, which makes it more challenging. And what I mean is a limited palette in the sense of what of the 40 ingredients that they're using that creates the image. And you can see that they are using lines, and that is one big major ingredient in this, and color. Because look at all the vivid and interesting, exciting colors that are being used. And we do have a variety of colors, so that also uses variety. And we are also using light to dark, and the artist did this extremely well because they've got the full range from extreme white to extreme black, and as you already know, anything in between. If you were converting this image to black and white or grayscale and you were printing it off on your printer and you looked at it, any color that's in the middle there, not too light, not too dark, then it becomes more of a neutral. So what we're looking at is in the range of dark to light is light, medium light, medium dark, and dark. So you can see that we've got a lot of medium in here with not as much white and not as much dark. And the smallest portion, if you took all of the white and you added it all together and you put it, let's say, down in this corner, what percentage would you have compared to if you added all the black and then you put it down in the corner? You wouldn't have a very big space. So white is more larger quantity of the light or the dark, so that becomes, the dark becomes the indicator of that ingredient, is the indicator of where the main area of interest is, because we have so little dark, but the dark is a big enough mass all in one spot that it creates an area of interest. Now you can see that in another ingredient which the artist used is on the third lines. Now we've covered this so many times, but we'll just briefly go over it. Third lines are in 1/3 into the image. Okay, so a third in, a third in, a third in. So where does that place if you're drawing lines? That would be approximately here, approximately here, approximately here, and approximately here. So where is cross points when we talk about cross points? Well, that is where these third lines would cross. So this, a third down and a third in, that's where it would cross, right? So this is very close to, and on the third line. Same here on the cross points, where this is only on the third line. The cross point would be here and here, so this is only on the third line, so it's not as dominant. The mass of the lips is not solid enough. In other words, because these other colors and lines are going through it, it's not a clear mass like this here is. See, there's no lines going through this zone. Okay, and this zone becomes bigger because of this. So this is the main area of interest, and this is the second main area of interest, and this is the third. You can have 1, 3, or 5, and 3 is the most ideal. And then you can have supporting other little areas of interest too, like the textures and the colors, and you'll glance around and see other little things that are interesting as well. But you will keep coming back to your main areas of interest, and that's what keeps the viewer on the page. So this was done really well. Now, like I said, there's not a lot of ingredients. There's implied texture from these brush strokes, but there's not actual, three-dimensional texture. But we do have three-dimensional shadowing, which creates this here. But this is a weaker line and a weaker mass because it's not in a solider clump like that. This is too spread out, and it's not on a third line, so we tend to ignore that one more than we would this one and this one, you see. Okay, so there is lots of busy. They did use busy, non-busy as an ingredient, and you can see that there's lots of busyness. They've used action because of the lines going on an angle. So many of them are on an angle. They're not, horizontal. When lines are on an angle, it gives you a more feeling of action, and having them crisscross all which ways like that gives it an even bigger feeling of action. So this adds a lot of excitement and category of excitement. And like all of these things are ingredients that can be incorporated into your image. You can incorporate boring or exciting. Well, this is exciting, and this is why. It's the blend of ingredients and how they're blended together and the quantities and proportions that are used that create a strong main area of interest. So we do have a strong main area of interest here, but in the ingredient of busy to non-busy space, you can see it's almost all busy. There's only a little bit of non-busy. See here and here, there's only tiny bits of non-busy space. So, and none of them are on the third line. Okay, and so let's say they had cleared an area there and put like plain whiter area in there, then that would be the highest point of contrast, which would, you've got the light to dark contrast, then you've got it touching side by side, and that would make this an even stronger main area of interest. You see what I'm saying? So the more ingredients you combine together, and this being on the third line, this being the darkest area, this being the largest mass, and then if you put non-busy space there, then you're going to have it even be a stronger main area of interest. So if I was to make a suggestion on how the artist could improve it or improve it for next time, then that's what I would suggest, is to put a bit of non-busy space right in there, maybe a little bit there, and so that would even intensify that area. But also to bring it a little further onto the third line, I would suggest adding just a little bit on the top and just a touch on the bottom, and then that would bring this up into the third line a little better, and that would bring this down a little bit better into a third line. And of course, as we know, square images are not as exciting as wide or tall, just like round images, if you're doing a round painting, is not as interesting as an oval painting. So, that would be something the artist could consider as well for next time. But you can see, even as it is a really high quality, super wonderful image, and very professionally done. And my favorite of all of the ones of this artist that I looked at, my favorite in terms of personal taste, because I love all the colors and everything, but when we analyze it, personal taste has nothing to do with it. We're looking at the ingredients that are giving it strength. So in terms of, what is making this strong and memorable, you'll see that the other ones don't have that. A lot of them are lacking a strong main area of interest. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this mini analysis. And this is Roslynn Eve, and I'm a practical art analyst. And my page, in case you would like to hire my services, this is my page. This is where I also post these mini analysis videos. So you'll find other ones there as well that have some beautiful art too. And if you're looking to understand what makes it so beautiful, well, that's what we're about. So please follow me, and then I can share more beautiful art with you. And thank you, and bye for now. Oh, yes, my services are listed there, my fees and things, for both single images and for group images. And this is the mini analysis, and I do have a full analysis there as well. Okay, thank you. Bye for now.